Hey comic book fans, this is Blue Goblin with my newest comic book review blog for the week of October 29th, 2008. I apologize that it took me so long to put it out because I had to find the time to read some of these books. So let's get started, shall we? Let's start with Amazing Spider-Man number 575, The Return of Hammerhead. So listen up, you mooks. This was really good. Joe Kelly writes the storyline in this issue. Did a very good job. This was like 10 times better than the bullshit Amazing Flash Thompson book we got last week. Chris Boccello does the artwork for here. I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but bear with me. Now, Chris Boccello's artwork, I loved it very much during the X-Men Supernovas run, but when he does Amazing Spider-Man, I'm not just a big fan of it because I didn't know Peter Parker could look so butt ugly. The meth head segment at the beginning of the book was funny as hell, and Hammerhead's return was very, very dark, and it wasn't comical at all. It was very serious, and he fucked Spider-Man up pretty well. So this is a mini-series storyline that I recommend checking out with the Return of Hammerhead here. It's not really that bad. It's definitely worth reading. Next, we got Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 1, or for those of you who are using the more traditional numbering, we got Annual 35. Lord Nightmare has been wanting me to explain this annual here on my newest blog, so Lord Nightmare, listen up. It's not Mary Jane. And you know what? I'm actually kind of glad that it's not Mary Jane because maybe it's just me, but I'm not ready to see MJ as a superhero yet. Give it a couple more years, then maybe I'll check it out. But Jackpot in this book is a woman named Alana Dobson, and it turns out that Sarah Arrett was the original Jackpot that registered with the Superhuman Registration Act. And then after she registered, Sarah was basically like, you know what, I changed my mind. I don't want to do it anymore. So Alana Dobson literally buys the rights to Jackpot from Sarah. She buys her registration license, she buys the outfit, and she decides to become Jackpot because Alana wanted to be a superhero more than Sarah did. The only thing is that Sarah does have the superpowers of Jackpot, but Alana sadly doesn't. So Alana did it the cheating way when she decided to shoot herself up with performance enhancement drugs. She had to shoot herself up with a laundry list of performance enhancers that are illegal, by the way, in order to have the powers necessary to be Jackpot. And sadly, at the end of this issue, the drugs catch up with her system after a fight with a brand new villain called Blindside. After her and Spidey fight Blindside, the performance enhancement drugs catch up with her system, and unfortunately she dies at the end of this issue. But the last page makes us wonder, will Sarah go back on her word and continue the tradition of Jackpot? Because honestly, I hope Sarah does put the costume on and decides to go on and be Jackpot, because Jackpot's a character I'm really interested in. Even though it's not MJ, I'm fine with that. Give this character a little more exposure. Might be worthwhile. I don't know. Next up, we got Ultimate Spider-Man Annual number 3. This just got the wrong hype for me. This was hyped as the issue where Peter and Mary Jane discuss whether or not they're going to do it. And they don't do it. They talk about it. I think that's what the initial advertisement of this was. They're just going to talk about it. I don't think the decision whether or not they're just going to flat out do it or not was actually intended. I think they just wanted to talk about it, and then maybe they'll end up doing it sometime later on in a regular issue, or maybe in the next annual. I don't know. But this was despite the bad hype that this book got, it was actually very nicely done. This was the first appearance of Ultimate Mysterio, and Mysterio's first act by controlling a car to commit a bank robbery without a driver, and then Spider-Man trying to stop it. That was a nice scene. Read this issue and you'll see how amazing it is. I love the artwork in here. I can't pronounce the person who did the artwork for this issue, but I think David LaFuente, I think that's his name. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not, but he should be the regular artist for Ultimate Spider-Man. That's just me. Brian Michael Bendis, gotta give you a thumbs up. This was a truly awesome story. Ultimate Mysterio is going to be a little more hardcore than the 616 Mysterio. That's just my opinion. And so what if Peter and MJ didn't do it? They're only 15 years old. I think that's just too young. I'm really glad they didn't do it. But they do discuss one thing over and over again. They want to marry each other when they get older. Yippee. Go ahead and let them get married, but wait till they're old enough before they decide to do it. Go ahead and pick it up. I recommend reading it. It's not bad. Yeah. Marvel 1985, number 6. I can't stress enough how good this book was. Mark Millar, Tommy Lee Edwards, phenomenal job on this miniseries. I laughed hysterically when the kid, the main focus of this story, this little kid named Toby, he's standing around with the Avengers and he says, "Avengers, assemble!" And then Cap just looks down at him and smiles and he says, "Sorry, Cap, I couldn't resist. I had to do that." I mean, come on. If you were standing with the Avengers and you had the opportunity to say that legendary command, you would do it. I'm sorry. I would. Of course, the Avengers aren't real, so no way in hell it's going to happen, but this was just completely incredible. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to get the trade paperback of this. The artwork is very nicely done. And yeah, Craig at Grandland was right. It did firmly explain how this whole thing got together. There is an actual mutant in the regular universe who controls things with his mind, and he summoned the Marvel supervillains to come and destroy the Earth that he thinks shunned him for liking comic books. This is truly a remarkable miniseries. I am so thankful that I got it. Pick it up if it comes in trade paperback. If you missed out on this, what's your problem? Go ahead and pick it up in trade. It's definitely going to be worth it. Awesome, truly awesome. And speaking of awesome, let's talk about the book that Craig didn't review. Final Crisis, Rage of the Red Lanterns. This was one of the best books of the week, without question. I could not get enough of this. This is going to lead us up into In Blackest Night with Green Lantern, and I can't wait. This is just going to be completely incredible. And a friend of mine told me that if there was any point that you wanted to jump onto Green Lantern, now's the time to do it. They're getting ready to start In Blackest Night, and now's the time you should get into reading Green Lantern if you haven't been doing it here lately. This was just an awesome story, and the Red Lantern ring is based on rage and anger and violence. Very, very nice. Turns out Atrocitus is the first Red Lantern, or at least he looks to be the first Red Lantern according to this book. And we find out later that, yes, he's the monster that murdered. He is the monster that murdered, what's his name? God. The monster that murdered Abin Sur. I believe that's his name. Yeah, Abin Sur. The being that gave Hal Jordan the Green Lantern ring. And I loved the poem for the Red Lantern. It's like, with blood and rage of crimson red, ripped from a corpse so freshly dead, together with our hellish fate, we'll burn you all. That is your fate. Just awesome. This is a book you have to get. Craig, why didn't you review this book? Please tell me why. This was truly an awesome, awesome book. This is a must-have for any Green Lantern fan. Pick it up, please. Well, I'm all spent for right now, so I gotta go. So until my next video, later.